Hello, DV here, back with another episode of Ironsworn playing God Apothecary with Dog of Velmark. I am DV, and I am your humble GM and player, playing solo TTRPGs. And today we are going to be seeing where our adventures for Dog take us. Last episode we had a trial for Keenan and Kova, the two children of the light, both warrior and priest, who were accused of consorting with the Lord of Darkness, some of which we had helped discover, and they were both found guilty and were set to execution. And the leader of the Children of the Light in the local little company, Edda of Axcrag, she approached us and asked if we would be willing to join the Children of the Light as a warrior and help protect Keone as they become the head priest in Velmark. That's interesting because we don't really care about the whole religion aspect. We've been largely indifferent to that, but I think it makes sense for us to do that so that we can bring down the church from within. Maybe not bring it down, but change it from within, you know? Make a change. Be the change that you want, you know? And so I think the first thing we're going to do while we're here in Axcrag is we're going to sojourn for a little while, and I'm going to say that we take up with some of the local militia, some of the local children, try to get to know them a little bit. And we're going to try to upgrade our long arm skill. We've got 5 available experience, which means we can upgrade an existing card, and we even have the ability to take a new card if we want. I probably won't take both just yet, or we could upgrade 2 abilities. So let's take a look at our abilities right quick and see what we can do for our upgrade. So for long arm, we currently have this little benefit, which is great, but we could upgrade it to when we secure an advantage edge using our staff to disarm, trip, shove, or stun our foe. We can add +1 and take 1 on a momentum to a hit. In addition to this +1, presumably these stack. Or no, this is only for clash or strack, and this is for secure an advantage. So we get an extra boost for secure an advantage. Or we could take when you undertake a journey and score a strong hit, or if you accompany an ally who scores a strong hit on that move, your staff provides support and comfort in your travels. Take +1 momentum. So we could take either one of those, or we really could take both. We have enough. We could go over to alchemy, and let's see, may choose 2 effects for a single dose, or create 2 doses of the same effect. Ooh, interesting. So I think we probably should go ahead and remove the effects of our shadow potion. We've had it on for like a long time now, and we haven't really met the requirements for it to disappear, but I feel like that's not clear in the rules. But I want to say probably it's not supposed to last for a long period of time. So so maybe we should put our own requirement on there that it only lasts, a certain period of time and then it wears off. I don't want to like have this continual effect that just continues to give me benefits. I feel like that's disingenuous. So we'll from now on we're gonna try to limit these effects to some extent here. So anyway, we could do this where we get to choose 2 effects for a single dose or create 2 doses of the same effect. Or we could, when we prepare an elixir, add +1 and take 1 momentum on a hit. And then for our herbalist, last time we leveled up, this one, when we heal a companion, ally, or other character and score a hit, take +1 spirit or 1 momentum. That really even hasn't helped us because we haven't had an opportunity to do much healing because we've been doing other things. But the last skill on it is when we make camp and choose the option partake, which is one of the options when you make camp. You can do so and make a restorative meal and take an additional +1 health without suffering the minus supply, which partake normally makes you do. So interesting choices for sure. But I think I'm going to go for the long arm. And I think we will do it for when we secure an advantage. We can use it to disarm, trip, shove, or stun our foe. That sounds good to me. So, what we're going to do first is we are going to go ahead and sojourn here. In Axecrag. And we might even try to form a bond with Axecrag here. And see, maybe, you know, spend some a little extra time here to form a bond. So let's roll heart. Don't add anything to it. Just gonna roll heart. And we get a miss with a negative twist. My God. You find no help here. Pay the price. Dang. Wow, they do not like me here. I rolled a 4 and got a double 8. So I guess word has spread that Child Etta has asked me to join the Children of the Light. And they, so a lot of the children here do not like that one little bit. Because one, I am the child of traders, our grandchild, so to speak, of the herbalists in Valemark. Their fame is spread beyond just Valemark, or their infamousness. A lot of people don't like that, and I kind of get shunned everywhere I go here. Like every time I try to talk to people, every time I try to make a connection, I get really shunned. And so we are going to pay the price. Unfortunately, that's bad when we're about to go on a journey. It is stressful, so we take 2 stress. Oh my gosh. Down to spirit 0, and we're going to try to endure stress, hopefully to bring that up just a little bit. When you face a mental shock or despair, suffer spirit equal to your foe's rank, blah, blah, blah. If your spirit is 0, suffer momentum equal to any remaining spirit. It's not. It's down to 0. So now we're going to roll heart or spirit, whichever is higher. Heart is higher. And we're going to see if we can endure this stress. We get a weak hit, we press on. Okay, so we didn't get to restore any of our stress like we would have if we had a strong hit. Okay, so wow. We sojourned here and it didn't help us. We are still the worse for wear. I'm going to say even despite not making a connection here, we were able to do some training with our long arm. Just even by just ourselves, and or with Keone, and so yeah, let's say we trained with Keone. He's got that cudgel. We've got our staff. We did some training. Let's see if we can boost our bond a little bit here. So we're going to boost our bond with Keone by doing that training with them. And the dice are not happy with me today. We rolled an 8 with an 8 or a 2. They ask something more of you, envision what it is, and do it and mark the bond. Wow. So we're going to have another sub-quest for Keone here. All right, so let's go to our Forge a Bond. We do mark progress with it. However, they have something. Oh, no, I have to, before I upgrade my bond, I have to complete the quest first. So bring that back down to 2. Oh, and I learned from my mistakes. I need to update that because I failed on that sojourn roll. Okay, there we go. So what do they want from me? What do they want from me? Raid inaccessible. Ooh. Alarm time. Okay. So Keone, in discussion with Etta, has discovered there's a bandit camp outside of Axecrag that is causing trouble. And if I want to prove myself to the people of Axecrag and to Keone and to Etta, everyone, then they want me to go and get these bandits to disperse. By myself? Yeah, I guess so, by myself. Probably there's not a lot there. We'll find out when we get there. But where is this bandit camp in relation to Axecrag? It's probably up in the mountains just a slight way, and probably there in the pass so that whenever people go through the pass, they can accost them. So let's just put this little guy here, just like that. All right, so it's probably relatively close as far as all of that goes. So they want me to go ahead and try to convince them to leave or defeat them or drive them away, something. And so, yeah, let's do it. But first, let's see if I can do a alchemy move here to create another elixir. I'm going to need all the help I can get here. And if I'm going to be doing things like compel, what do I need for that? Swindle, I could threaten or incite. I might need iron. So let's go, and I might need iron also for my combat. No, I need edge for my combat. So yeah, maybe the let's just do. Well, first let's upgrade our long arm. First and foremost, upgrade our long arm. So I have upgraded my long arm there, and now we're going to try to do some alchemy for. Whew. Well, we could try to do. I didn't upgrade. Oh, let me use up some of this here. So let's get our ability 2. There we go. That knocks me down to 3 available experience. I could go ahead and upgrade my alchemy as well before we do that, and choose 2 effects for a single dose. Maybe it would be worth it. That way I could get maybe edge and iron or something along those lines. Yeah, let's do that. Let's upgrade this as well. All right, so during my time here sojourning, I've been studying my alchemical properties of different plants and things. That's probably why they didn't want to form a new bond with me, is because they saw me messing around out in the fields with herbs and whatnot. And they're like, he's at it, all right. And so I brought it upon myself. But it's worth it. We upgraded our alchemy also to ability 2, which means we can create a potion with 2 different effects. And so what we're going to do is we are going to create a potion, and we're going to use, we will upgrade our iron. No, we're going to upgrade our shadow and our edge. We're going to upgrade our shadow and edge for a single dose. Okay. So what do we need to roll? We need to roll. The character who consumes the elixir must face danger, iron, and score a hit, after which they add +1 when making moves with a related stat until their health, spirit, or momentum fall below +1. Oh, so I wonder if I need to get my spirit up 1 first before I can even do this. How can I increase my spirit? That's making a camp help me increase my spirit? Yes. So we will begin our journey out, and then I'll make my potion once I do that. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new vow. It's going to be a dangerous vow. And we are going to vow to, we're going to drive off or defeat the bandits at Axecrag Pass. So they have asked me to prove myself by defeating troublesome bandits, and that's what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and undertake our journey. And the first night it's probably best I don't make my potion here in the town anyway, because, they probably got their stink eye on me. All right, so we're going to undertake our journey. We're going to say the journey itself is only troublesome. And so I'm going to go ahead and create another new track for our journey, because it's relatively close. So we have to journey to the bandit camp here. All right. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to undertake our journey. Let's see what we do for our journey. We're going to be using wits. We're going to roll. We get a 9, and our challenge dice are a 9 and a 2. That's a weak hit. We reach our first waypoint and mark progress, but suffer 1 supply. That's not good. Let's see what the waypoint is at our first place here. Location, the forest. Okay, makes sense. Civilized forest. Okay, so there's lots of woodcutter huts and things out here in this part of the forest right outside of the Axe Crag proper. And so we're still kind of like still within civilization. We haven't really made it that much progress, mostly because we're having to trek through the woods. And so we've made our way here, and we're going to go ahead and we are going to approach one of these woodsmen who has a little cabin there. And what is their initial disposition towards me? He's driven. Okay, so we have a woodsman. And I say, "Ho there, woodsman. May I speak with you?" He is driven. A driven woodsman. So he's working hard out there. And he is generally hostile towards me. And he's like, "I don't want none of your trouble, stranger. Move along." And I was going to ask if I could just like stay in his barn for the night or something. And maybe sojourn here. But he seems to be very disinterested in that. Can I go ahead and try to compel him to let me to stay regardless? I'm just going to try to charm him with heart. Can I stay the night in one of your woodsheds or your barn? Maybe make a camp here. I won't bother you. I just want to have a safe place to sleep for the night. And what is the chances of him saying yes? Not good. Rolled a 3 against a 6 and an 8. They refuse or make a demand which costs you greatly pay the price. All right, so he's going to refuse to let me to stay here. And now we have to pay the price, unfortunately. So I move away from him. Actually, I know what the price is going to be already. I move away from his little woodcutter area and I start to make a camp. And while I'm making my camp, I can hear a crack in like someone has stepped on a twig. It's dark already. I've just started to make my camp. Let's see if I get my camp made at all here. Adventure, make a camp. Alright, you and your allies may each choose one. I can take a health, I can take a spirit, I can take a momentum, or I can add +1 to undertake my journey when I break camp, or I could partake and suffer another supply, but I'm just going to go ahead and recuperate my spirit there. That will be good. But while I'm sitting around my campfire, I hear a noise, like a stick breaking. Someone has stepped on a stick. And do I see anything in the woods? I'm going to say unlikely because it's so dark. No, I don't see anything. But I'm now on high alert. And I go back to my campfire, eating some of my meal and stuff. And suddenly the hostile woodcutter, steps into the light. And he says, "I told you I didn't want any of your kind around here. Move along." And I'm like, "Look, man, I'm just making a camp. I'm far away from your house." He's like, "All of this is mine. Move along now." And I'm like, "Well, I just want to rest for the night. I need to find a place to rest." And he hefts his axe a little bit and he says, "I don't need to tell you again. Leave now, or there will be trouble." So, So do I want to fight this guy just to stay here at this camp? I feel like that's probably not a good idea. And so I guess I go ahead and just get up and start like kicking dirt over the fire and making sure that the coals are buried and everything. And does he cause any more trouble for me if I leave? Odds 50-50. Yes, he does. So as I start leaving the camp, I notice he keeps following me. And I'm like, and so I say, listen, I'm leaving, okay? You can go back to your camp. Leave me be. I'm leaving this area. And he's like, what do you have in your pack there? Got anything good? And is he part of the bandits? I'm gonna say it's likely he's working with the bandits. So they have little people in close to the village to watch travelers and things. Is he part of it? No, he's not. He's just a bad guy. He's just a bad guy. So I'm going to try to compel him one more time to leave me alone. And I'm going to roll iron because I'm going to threaten him. I'm like, look, I don't want any trouble, but if you want trouble, we can have trouble. I'm going to roll. And I rolled a 9 against a 5 and a 8. That's a strong hit. And I'm going to take 1 momentum. And when I say, and I heft my staff and I kind of give it a little show off twirl there. And I'm like, if you want trouble, we can have trouble. Now, what do you want from me? And he kind of holds his hands up a little bit. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Back off there, buddy. I'm just curious. I just wanted to make sure you're okay. I'm making you leave. I'm just, okay. He's a coward in heart. He just starts backing away and fades away into the shadows and makes his way back to the camp. And I am not going to stay here for the night. I'm going to go ahead and continue my journey until I get to another waypoint because I don't trust this guy. So I'm going to go ahead and roll to undertake my journey again. And our score rolled an 8 versus an 8 and a 6. That's a weak hit. I reach another waypoint, but I suffer another supply, unfortunately. So let's go to another waypoint. What is this one? Cold Plains. So I kind of come out of the majority of the woods there, and it's gotten really cold here at night, and I lose one of my supplies. I have to start a fire a couple different times just to warm myself up there. And we're going to give ourselves progress on our journey. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and I wouldn't normally make another camp that soon after making camp, but I really need to rest up and things. So I'm going to go ahead and make another camp here at this cold plains here and see if I can find a place to take shelter here. And so let's go ahead and make another camp. We rolled a 7 versus a 7 and 3. We can successfully make our camp, but we only get to choose one of these things. So I think I will go ahead and take another supply. No, that's not one of the options. So I'll take a spirit. And then we make our camp. It's all uneventful completely. When I wake up in the morning, it's still cold. I'm shivering. And but I do want to see if I can find some goods around, maybe find a small game or something to reprovision myself a little. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a resupply and see what I can find here. Rolled a 6 versus a 7 and a 3. That's a weak hit. I can take up to 2 supply, but suffer 1 momentum for each. So I guess I'll just knock myself down to 1 momentum and take 2 supply. And while I'm here in the plains, I'm going to go ahead and make my potion here because now's as good a time as any. We're going to go ahead and select our move. I'm going to increase my shadow and edge with this potion here. And so that's what I'm going to make. Now I have to face danger with iron and score a hit, after which they add +1 when making moves with the related stat. Alright, so I have to face danger. As long as I get a weak or a strong hit, it doesn't matter. I get to make my potion successfully. So let's go ahead and face danger with iron and roll. Alright, a weak hit. Good. You succeeded at a troublesome cost. We don't have to worry about that. But we can now... Actually, I guess we do have to worry about that. We're going to take 1 momentum hit. Dang. Or no, let's instead of momentum, let's take a harm. We'll say that the potion, we drink the potion and we get our edge and our shadow, but unfortunately the potion is it's a bit of a poison as well, and it makes me sick whenever I drink it, and so it lowers my health by 1. Now I could endure harm here and see if I could overcome that. Let's do that. Let's see if I can overcome this problem here. Iron or health, whichever is higher. They're the same. All right, so I rolled a 9 versus a 3 and a 9. I press on, so I don't get any of that health back. That's okay. All right, so we're going to continue on our journey. Our stats are not looking great so far. Things have not been going very well for us. So let's undertake our journey and see if we can make it to the bandit camp. We roll a 7 versus an 8 and a 7. That is a miss. We are waylaid by a perilous event. Pay the price, trouble oracle. Dang. All right. We are waylaid. So we're getting close to the bandit camp, and we are waylaid by a couple of bandits. They ambush us when we're on our way. So let's take a look and see who these jokers are. They are assaulting us, yeah, of course. Okay. Doomed, hostile, okay. And defend a place. Man, that was perfect. They're former traitors, all right. So the bandit, how many of them are there? Doomed, hostile, defend their camp. So I guess we made it to the camp. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and call this good. We're going to reach our destination before we do this combat here, because we have made it to the camp apparently. There we go. We rolled a 9 versus a 6 and a 6. A strong with a positive twist. Fantastic. Ooh. Make another move now, not a progress move, and add +1 and take 1 momentum. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to secure an advantage as I see them hop out of the woods coming towards me. They are trying to ambush me basically. But since I get a +1 on this from my strong hit here, I'm going to say that I notice them trying to ambush me, and I hide behind a tree, and as one of them walks up, I'm going to secure an advantage and try to trip him with my long arm, which gives me another +1 and a momentum, I think. Let's see what all it does here. When you secure an advantage with edge using your staff to disarm, trip, or shove, or stun your foe, add +1 and take +1 momentum. Okay, so I get to add +1. That boosts me up to a 2. +1 momentum. Or well, on a hit, I'll get a momentum. All right, so these, how many bandits are there? Let's roll. Let's say on a D10. Well, we'll just say on this D2. Is there more than one? Yeah, there's 2. Okay, 2 bandits. And then that's not all the bandits that are in the camp. That's just the ones that are out here guarding. So there's 2 bandits. I go ahead and I secure advantage by tripping 1 here. And so we're going to roll to secure our advantage. I rolled a 10 versus a double 5. Strong with a positive twist. Gain advantage. Choose 1. Take control. Make another move now, not a progress move. When you do, add +1. Or I can prepare to act and take 2 momentum. Ooh. I think I'm going to go ahead and take 1 momentum first for my long arm on this strong hit. And then I'm going to go ahead and take that 2 extra momentum because I'm going to need it in this combat, I'm afraid. So let's go ahead and add in a combat track for these 2 bandits. Let's see what the bandits are. They're typically dangerous foes. What is theirs will be ours. Stand with my kin, die a glorious death. They're geared for war. I don't think they're actual raiders, though. I feel like they're probably just like hunters or something that's maybe yeah, this is more like it. They wear hides and furs, and they have a steely gaze. They set traps, keep to the shadows, deadly. Yeah, I think they're more like hunters than raiders. They could be warriors as well, but they're bad folk. And we're gonna say that they are a troublesome. I mean, a dangerous foe. So this is going to be a foe, and they are dangerous. And there's 2 of them. So we're going to defeat these 2 bandit sentries. And I secured advantage, so I reach out and I trip one of the bandits as he's walking by. And when I do so, he trips and falls, and he loses his weapon when he falls down. And the other guy is so shocked, I get to take the initiative. And so I'm going to first strike here. And I'm going to strike using my edge, first of all. And so I also get to add 1 from my long arm for strike. Add +1 and take 1 momentum on a hit. Good. So I'm going to try to strike that guy that's down and knock him out. I rolled an 8 versus a 6 and a 3. That's a strong hit. I inflict 1 harm and I retain the initiative. And I gain a momentum from my long arm. So let's go ahead and increase our track here for the bandit sentries. So I inflicted 1 harm. So I knock that guy completely out while he's on the ground. And now the other guy is trying to square up against me to see what he can do. So I'm going to try to knock him out too. And so I'm going to go ahead and attack him. I think using strike and secure an advantage basically gives me the same same. I never did enter the fray, but that's okay. I should have, because it would have given me the initiative, but that's okay. We're already in the fray now. We were ambushed. All right, so we're going to go ahead and attack this second guy here. And I'm going to roll my edge. And with a +1 with strike, with long arm. And re-rolled a 10 versus a 5 and a 9. Another strong hit. And another momentum from long arm. And another harm on the bandit. So he squares up against me, and I move in with my staff, and I strike him in the ankle, and he reaches down, and he's, oh, my ankle! Good commentary there, DV. Okay, now I'm going to attack him again with my staff. And +1, I got a 7 here versus a 2 and a 1, which is another strong hit. I inflict another harm, another momentum, and I am going to increase that there. So once again, I'm a blur with my staff, and I continue to strike him in the arm and the elbow, and he tries to parry with his sword, but I just knock it away like it's a child and continue to press my advantage. And I'm going to roll another strike. This is a weak hit, unfortunately. So I hit him 1 more time, but unfortunately, with this last hit, I do get 1 momentum from that, from my long arm. But now, with that last hit, he's able to parry it in such a way that he's going to make a move against me. And so now I'm on the defensive, and he's going to attack me with Clash. I still get +1 from long arm on my Clash, so I'm going to roll a Clash here. He's going to attack me. I'm going to make sure I'm using edge. And so I'm going to roll. I rolled a 7 versus a 6 and a 7. I could get a strong hit by burning momentum. I think I will. I think I'm going to burn my momentum. Get a strong hit. He comes in to make his move. I'm going to go ahead and turn that parry into a strike. I hit him, bolter my position, take 1 momentum, and I know I'm going to find an opening and inflict 1 harm. I can have to choose one of these, but I do get the initiative. So I'm going to go ahead and inflict 1 more harm on him. And that is pretty much going to be it for that. I'm going to put my momentum back up to 3 because I get 1 from my long arm for that strike. And so now we are going to end this fight. All right. So I want to make sure we have the 2 bandit sentries marked here. And I'm not going to give myself any modifiers. Just 2. I'm going to roll a 10 basically here against a 1 and 9. That's a strong hit on ending the fight. So I do 1 last strike with my staff, and he falls to the ground unconscious. All right. So I'm going to mark this as complete. Defeated the 2 sentries. And I'm going to go ahead and gather information from them. I'm going to look and see if they have anything on them that might be able to help me, like, know anything, or what can I find out about them, about anything here. Rolled a 9 versus a 9 and 3. That's a weak hit. So I look over their bodies and take 1 momentum. And what do I discover from overwhelm? Fragile. So they are not in a good shape. It looks like they haven't eaten in a while, probably. And so these bandits have a tenuous existence out here in this camp. So we know that we might be able to convince them to leave in some way other than violence, perhaps. So I have to drive off or defeat the bandits at Axe Crag. Okay. So I feel like we have made progress in that. Very good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to sneak up on this camp. And did they cry an alarm? I'm going to say likely they did. Yes, they did. So the bandit camp is on alert. They have people at the camp itself that are on the lookout, trying to see what that alarm was about. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to discover a site here, which is I'm going to use the Delve adventure moves. I picked up Delve, and I'm going to use the Delve adventure moves to hopefully do this, to explore this place. Okay, so let's see what this bandit camp is. You resolve to enter a perilous site in pursuit of an objective. Choose the theme and domain which best represent its nature, and give it a rank. Alright, I think I'm going to just use this drive off or defeat the bandits, which is already a dangerous rank. I don't need another track to mark. We're going to use that as our delve track. And let's ask the Oracle, what kind of place is this? It's ruins. So this is like a little ruined outpost as we sneak up on this place. And I'm going to try to secure an advantage here. And we are going to sneak up on this place by securing an advantage. And I'm going to use Shadow to sneak. I rolled a 7 versus a 7 and a 3. That's a weak hit. My advantage is short-lived. Take 1 momentum. So I stay to the shadows and I sneak up on this camp, and I see a couple of sentries. There's a ruined wall that a couple of sentries are up on, that they are keeping watch. And I sneak over and press myself up against the wall while they were turned away. And I'm going to try to climb up and get the drop on these sentries, hopefully before they can see me. So I think I'm going to hide here in the shadows of this wall just a little bit and wait for them to kind of calm down a little bit. And so I'm just sitting there waiting, and I hear one of the sentries say, Must have been just the wind. And so I'm going to face danger. I'm going to try to climb up this wall and see if I can get the drop on these guys while they're kind of walking their little patrol up there. These are bandits. They're not super, disciplined soldiers. So they're just kind of chit-chatting up there and doing their own thing. And I'm going to use Shadow to try to climb up with skill up this wall face to see if I can get the drop on these guys. So I'm going to roll Shadow. And I get a strong hit, a 7 versus a 1 and a 2. I succeed. Take 1 momentum. I climb up the edge of this wall, and they have their backs turned to me, and I pull myself over very quietly and carefully, and I'm going to enter the fray. When you enter into combat, create or select a foe track with a rank, then roll to determine who is in control. If you are, roll Heart. Ambushed, roll Wits. Ambushing them, roll Shadow. That's what I'm going to do. Alright, so now I need to add another new track for bandits. I'm just going to do this one again. Okay, but they're not. It's not completed. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be difficult to do this without them raising the alarm. So, what to do? I think I'm just going to have to do it. I mean, I could try to compel them, I guess, but I think there's no way I would be able to get away with that. So we're just going to get the drop on them here. We are going to enter the fray with Shadow and attack them. That is an 8 versus a 9 and a 1. I can take initiative to prepare to act, or I can take momentum, 2 momentum. Choose one. I think I definitely want the initiative. I'm going to prepare to act. Alright, and I am going to strike these guys with edge. And I'm going to try to take one of them out of the fight, just like I did last time. I get +1 from my long arm. That'll be good. That is a 9 versus an 8 and a 3. It's a strong hit. Inflict 1 harm, and I retain the initiative, and I get 1 momentum from my long arm. So this should be relatively easy to get these guys taken out here. And so I quickly strike one in the back of the head with my staff, and he drops down. And the other guy turns around and is like, "What was that?" And before he can even make a move, I'm going to strike him as well. With a strong hit with a positive twist, 7 versus a double 2. I inflict 1 harm, I retain initiative, and what can be the strong hit twist here? I am going to say that I'm going to give myself an extra harm. And I crack him in the face with my staff, and he chokes on his teeth and his blood, and he's unable to make the cry for help. And so I'm going to go ahead and finish him with this last move. 10 versus a 9 and a 2, another strong hit, and initiative, and momentum. And I completely crumple this guy, and I'm going to end the fight now. He does not stand a chance. Strong hit. Knock him out. I guess I don't get my +1, but that doesn't matter. I still get a strong hit. An 8 versus a 3 and a 7. Strong hit. I completely knock him out, and they are defeated. Just like that. And now I'm up on the wall, and I can sneak down into the camp proper using the delve mechanics, I think. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. Next episode, I'm going to make my way into the camp proper and see if we can take out these bandits. And we're in a ruins, so we'll see how that plays out. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure and hit that like button. And I'll see you guys next time.